Welcome, aspiring merfolk and curious people alike, to my circle chair and my comparison review of the Mertailor original Fantasea Fin and the Fantasea Fin 3. If you want to see my initial reactions to both these fins, you can find my unboxing videos linked in the card and down in the description below, but this video will be my full, organized thoughts after having owned and swam in both of these beautiful silicone monofins. Start out with the most obvious aspect of these fins, their construction. Both the Fantasea Fin 1 and the Fantasea Fin 3 are both 100% silicone with mesh reinforcing the foot pockets for added strength. I assume if you found your way to this review, you, like me, were drawn to Mertailor products because of that floppy, flowy, 100% silicone look they have in the water. For me, I also knew I either wanted a Fantasea Fin 1 or a Fantasea Fin 3 because I loved the thought of a full silicone fin. It was less intimidating than a fin that has straps and buckles or is made of a rigid material that I would be afraid to accidentally hit or hurt someone with while I was swimming. And this may also be a personal preference thing, but I feel like it's very luxurious to be swimming in an all silicone fin. In regards to comfort while wearing your fin, the Fantasea Fin 1 and the Fantasea Fin 3 are pretty similar. They do, however, differ slightly in sizing and fit. I have a medium in both, which means in theory, these foot pockets should be exactly the same size. In actual practice, however, having worn both fins, the Fantasea Fin 1 feels like it has smaller foot pockets than the Fantasea Fin 3. I investigated this further for the purpose of this video, and I found that the actual opening in the Fantasea Fin 1 is smaller than the one for the Fantasea Fin 3. I hypothesized that that is what makes these foot pockets feel smaller, as it's a tighter fit, it covers more of your foot, and it requires more work to kind of get your foot in there. In practice, for me, this also means that it feels like there's more pressure on top of your foot with the Fantasea Fin 1, as more of your foot is in contact with the silicone. This transitions nicely to reviewing comfort while swimming in both, as I have found my feet cramp up eventually while swimming in the Fantasea Fin 1, and I hardly ever have that happen while I'm swimming in my 3. I don't know, however, if this is because of the difference in the foot pockets, or if it's because I need to work so much harder when I'm swimming in my Fantasea Fin 1. That's right, I use more energy when I'm swimming in the smaller fin. And on that note, let's move to comparing their swimmability. Importantly, let's address the psychological aspects first. I haven't touched on this yet, but the Fantasea Fin 3 is obviously a lot bigger and heavier on land than the Fantasea Fin 1. This is incredibly intimidating to anyone who isn't already incredibly comfortable swimming in the water, as your brain goes, I'm going to strap this to my feet and try to swim. Meanwhile, the Fantasea Fin 1 is a small and manageable size that does not feel like it is going to drag you down to the depths. When given the choice between the two, I find my friends naturally gravitate towards trying the Fantasea Fin 1 when they're starting out. It's just a more comfortable choice to consider and not nearly as intimidating as this beast. That being said, when I only owned the 3, everyone I enticed to swim in it caught on very quickly and didn't have any problems maneuvering in the big fin once they got over the mental hurdle of trying it. One friend who tried it, however, didn't feel as confident in her swim in it or as comfortable with the sheer mass of the 3. The next time I get to swim with her, I hope to offer the Fantasea Fin 1 as a less daunting option. I'm gonna let you know my bias right out the gate here. I adore the Fantasea Fin 3. The power, the flow in the water, just how comfortable I feel confidence-wise while swimming in this fin are all incredible. Yes, you have this massive hunk of silicone on your feet, but when you do your dolphin kick with proper technique, all that silicone just propels you through the water so elegantly and powerfully. It just feels amazing. Also, while you're treading water, having the larger fin means slower, more relaxed movements to keep you up, which personally helps keep me calmer, especially when I'm in deep water. Also, if you want to really try to go fast with the Fantasea Fin 3, when you get into a good rhythm with your body roll, it's just this amazing, powerful feeling. Compared to the Fantasea Fin 3, it is my experience that you need to use a lot more energy to swim with the Fantasea Fin 1. As in, I get a much more cardio-heavy workout when I swim with the smaller fin. I find I need to almost exaggerate my dolphin kick body roll to make it look elegant, and sometimes I almost need to add a little intentional pause in between kicks to make it look graceful. I don't need to add that pause with the 3, as the power from the initial kick propels you more through the full body roll and lends more naturally to continuing into the next kick, I think. That being said, your experience may be different if you have a different body composition to me. I have really strong abs, very proud of them, so my dolphin kick is pretty easy for me to really get into that flow. Whereas someone who's like more cardio, like I'm terrible at cardio, so maybe someone who's better at cardio than me would find the 1 much easier to swim in. Visually, they both have a very different flow in the water. You can see what they both look like here and make your choices based on your own personal preference of what you're looking for out of mermaid fin floppiness and flow in the water. Both work great for selling that beautiful mermaid look and are fun for swimming in, but in my opinion, the Fantasea Fin 1 is like those cute $20 boots you got at Walmart that go great with your outfit and you get compliments on them, but your feet ache by the end of the night. And the Fantasea Fin 3 is like those custom-made leather boots that you've broken in, are just like your staple go-to that also, you know, look fantastic. Obviously, I'm very biased here. There's one more important aspect to consider here, however, and that's how the size of these affect things on land. So transport, travel, how big of a production is getting to your swim going to be? Or using them in cases where you're not going to be in the water. When I first got the smaller fin, my first thought was, I'm going to swim in this so much more, it's going to be so easy to take to the pool or the beach. That was because this is not an easy fin to get from point A to point B. My 3 weighs 17.2 pounds compared to the measly 7.2 my 1 weighs. So already you see a little bit of difficulty arising with transport here, especially due to the massive size of this friend and the limited number of ways you can carry it. You shouldn't carry either of these by the heel straps as it can weaken them and potentially cause rips down the road, but you really shouldn't carry the 3 by the heel straps. And let me tell you, bringing this fin anywhere is a production. We have a minivan, so I just lay it flat on top of the seats when we need to drive anywhere. But if you need to carry it a distance, you have a couple options. 1, the hug. This is the easiest and most efficient way to carry your monofin. It distributes the weight of the fin across points of strength on the fin itself, and it centers its weight nicely on you. You can have more of the weight on your front or your back, depending on how you're feeling, or if you want your hands more available while you're carrying it. 2, the backpack. If you're walking a longer distance down the beach, or perhaps have a long walk from the parking lot to a particular spring you're going to, or if you just need your hands a little bit more free, you can use the modified backpack option. As long as you can find a backpack that fits this and can take a little bit of the weight, this can free up your hands really nicely for when you've got longer distances to travel with this fin. And 3, the cart. If you have a beach cart or some other form of wagon that you can roll to where you're swimming, you can load it up with all of your snacks and towels, plop your fin on top, and just pull it to where you need it. This is definitely going to be the nicest option energy-wise, considering, again, this thing weighs a lot. It's going to tire you out depending how far you need to go. Compare that to the Fantasea Fin 1, where it's as easy as carry the fin, or throw the fin in your bag. You don't need to think about it, or plan for it, or psych yourself up for carrying this huge unwieldy weight around. You can just grab it and go. That being said, especially after having swam in both of them more, if I'm going for a longer swim, I'm gonna grab the 3 every time. I've made it clear, I absolutely love it. The whole experience in the water with that monofin is just so lovely. I also have a strong husband who helps me carry things. If I'm hiking up a mountain for a photo shoot or something though, it's the original, every time. It's got that classic mermaid shape, and I'm not going to be in excruciating pain by the time we get to that mountain stream I wanted to take pictures in. The last point to consider is airline travel with these. If you've got a gracious airline, you might be able to get the 1 into your personal item. If not, it's going to fit in your carry-on. The 3 is going to at least need a carry-on, but the thought of that makes me very uncomfortable. You'd really need to pad it out with towels or clothes to prevent it from crushing down on the fin. And getting it its own checked bag is a better thought, but still a little bit scary because of how luggage handlers can treat bags. All this information about size and unwieldeliness also translate into how easily the monofins go into their tailskins. Fantasea Fin 1? Not too bad at all. Fantasea Fin 3? A ridiculous wrestling match, but I'm getting better at it. And unfortunately, I cannot give any input on the 2, 4, or the brand new Fantasea Fin 5, as I do not own nor have swam in any of them. I'd assume they're all more similar to the 3, except the 2 looks even harder to get into tailskins. If you have mermaid or non-mermaid questions for me, please leave them in the comments below and I will do my best to answer all of them to the best of my ability. And are there any videos you'd like to see more of from me? Please subscribe to come along on more adventures with me and leave a like to tell YouTube, hey, maybe this girl ain't half bad. I love you guys and I'll see you next time.